Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. Thanks so much for being here. With our last film, Jaws, we not only wrapped up another season of The Essentials, but it gives us an excuse to bring you some more movie thrillers made in the 1970s. If you thought the depths of the oceans were scary in our last film, it's kind of a walk in the park compared to what outer space has to offer in our next movie. What we have in store is director Ridley Scott's 1979 sci-fi horror tale, Alien. It's a film which brings together two very powerful trends in the movie world during the 70s, sci-fi stories such as Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and horror tales in the mode of Halloween and Carrie. Actually, the initial script for Alien was pitched to several studios, described as Jaws in space. Now, the idea for this movie came after two writers, Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett, looked at the box office grosses of Halloween and Jaws, and they thought, what if we combine sci-fi and horror into one film? Maybe place several people on an isolated spaceship, but instead of having some psychopath stalking them, make it an evil extraterrestrial. Well, eventually, and with the aid of producer Walter Hill, who helped polish the script O'Bannon had written, 20th Century Fox gave them the green light to make the movie, with director Ridley Scott at the helm. Now, Scott at this point was best known for his work directing commercials, very innovative, very successful commercials. And he had recently directed his first feature film, The Duelist, which impressed everyone, including the executives at Fox. But everyone at the studio was knocked for a loop when they saw the finished film Alien, and audiences were knocked for a loop as well. Set a new standard for sci-fi movies and went on to win the Academy Award for Best Special Effects for 1979. There's a very talented cast at work here, too, headed by Tom Skerritt, John Hurt, and in what was only her third film, and her first starring role in a movie, Sigourney Weaver. Now, this is a movie about which critic Harlan Ellison said, it'll scare the peanuts out of your M&Ms. Here's Ridley Scott's Alien. This was one of the great movie hits of 1979, which is usually a recipe for a quick turnaround sequel. And indeed, a sequel was greenlit, but it took 7 years, actually, to get a sequel to Alien in theaters. For that follow-up, which is called Aliens, plural, James Cameron wrote the screenplay and took over as director. Sigourney Weaver returned to play Ripley, and for that performance, she received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. She also played Ellen Ripley in two more follow-ups, Alien 3 in 1992 and Alien Resurrection in 1997. And of course, James Cameron and Sigourney Weaver teamed up 23 years after making Aliens for another blockbuster that managed to earn $1 billion at the box office. That movie titled Avatar. And by the way, if you enjoyed this film and would like to see it again, it's available on demand for the next 7 days via our new app called Watch TCM. With the app, you can watch TCM live and watch hundreds of films on demand each week on your computer, mobile phone, or tablet. It's a great new service that we're very pleased to be offering to our cable and satellite subscribers. You can find out more about the app on our website, tcm.com/watchtcm. Up next for us, the 70s thrill ride continues, quite literally, with help of a cast that includes George Segal, Henry Fonda, Richard Widmark, and a 14-year-old Helen Hunt.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, Timothy Bottoms plots amusement park pandemonium in Roller Coaster. Then Ruth Roman isn't an empty nester thanks to The Baby. And Lon Chaney Jr. takes charge for the maddest story ever told, Spider Baby.